So I've got the new throttle body on its way, and I can't use a larger throttle body on this because that's as much space as I've got in this thing. So I gotta fabricate new manifolds for both sides of the engine. Now, the tricky part about this is the original sits right about there. That's about where this is all gonna come together. All right, so let me show you guys the progress I made. Here we are. Making good progress, as you can see. So what I did here is I took my grinding bits, polishing, sanding paper bits, and I just attacked, no, I'm kidding, I didn't do that. Here's what I actually did. Oh, I bought this probably 7 years ago, and I haven't touched it since. It is a wood router. So the router has, of course, an edge finisher, and since I knew that I really was not going to be doing any woodworking, and I haven't touched the thing in practically a decade, I went ahead and I sacrificed one of my bits. Now, if I'm going to use the router, of course, that's not a big deal. I'll just buy a new bit. So really, I only sacrificed the bit, not the tool itself. But yeah, that's how I was able to get this nice trumpet shape on these guys, because I could not source any stainless steel velocity stacks that were in this size. On the last one that I was touching up, there's supposed to be a bearing that sits on the little router bit there that doesn't allow it to cut too deeply. I think it's this one here. You can see where it dug in too deep. Oh, and then what happened is I was using a Dremel with these little sanding bits, and it burned. Actually, my Dremel caught fire when I was doing this. So we lost a Dremel, I lost a router bit, but other than that, this doesn't look too terrible. All right, guys, so it's the next day. Not gonna lie, after I dropped the intake last night, I got really flustered and just said, forget it, I'm not working on this thing anymore. I've been trying to get it to return to its original shape by putting some clamps on it and just mildly hitting this with a hammer, but you can see the shape is still pretty messed up. See it on the background of my black shirt. See, it's right there is where it hit the ground. And not only did it bend in the material here, but it shifted. So this whole cylinder, this side of it anyway, this side's fine. Sorry for the background noise, guys. It's bike week here in Florida, so. If you think your gas prices are bad, ours jumped 50 cents overnight and then jumped another 50 cents overnight for bike week, so no complaining about the gas prices. But check this out, this whole thing shifted. It kind of oblonged itself that way when it hit right here. Continuing to work on this, and I'm trying to figure out what in the world I want to do with this thing. I'm just not crazy about putting the end cap, especially now that it's been dropped. The end cap, I'm gonna let this bike pull out of here. See, I've got this large gap over here on the side. I don't know if I want to do that end cap that way anymore. The other thing I was thinking about doing is then putting an angle over here on the end and just kind of using like a piece of the other material to kind of do that with it. I don't know, man. The problem is that whatever I do, it has to be perfect because this is all welded up now to the point where I can't make a mistake at this point. So I'll probably just do a little short angle, maybe like that deal, right on the end there. And rather than buy a piece of flat stainless steel, since stainless steel is so darn expensive, I will probably just try to straighten one of these pieces out and just use that as the end cap, because at least we know it's the exact same thickness. Drill and tap time. Well, that's not good. Maybe 2 threads in, and that's what happened. I hate to say it, but these Irwin taps, absolute trash. Frustrating. All right, here's the new plan. I was able to find some stainless nuts. Look at this fit. Give it a little tippy-tap-taparoo. So, I just made the dumbest mistake you could possibly make. Notice one thing that's missing? Where's the air supposed to go? So there is no possible way that I can punch through this thick piece of steel, 1/4 inch stainless, with the plasma cutter and not have the inside of this thing be completely boogered up with crusty stuff that's just waiting to destroy the engine. That could possibly work if I fill it with water. Hopefully that'll keep the crud out of it. All finished up. One of the main challenges for this intake was going to be The back seats are going to be right here on the back of this, and of course this is where our throttle cable input is going to be. Now this is a throttle body off of a Chevy Aveo. It is the perfect size for this intake. It's the perfect size for this engine. The stock, I believe, is a 40. This is a 52 millimeter intake. So 12 millimeter larger on the throttle body, which is going to flow more air, more top end, all of that happy jazz. So that'll do it for this part of the video. Keep checking back, guys, because we're going full force with this engine build. And of course, you guys will be getting to see, probably in the next episode, you guys will get to see more of the actual engine build, which is going to be pretty cool. I'm going to try to get over to the machine shop sometime in the next week or two and do some filming. Now, I would be a lot more comfortable assembling the short block for this engine, just because I know that I'm going to take my sweet time and make sure every clearance is perfecto before any of the pistons or anything goes into that engine. However, I do have to have the machine shop doing the short block because there's a lot of machining that's involved in that short block. The cap mains and some of the other things we mentioned, the honing, the decking, that sort of thing. That's why the machine shop's doing that, but hopefully I'll be able to get over there and get some footage of them putting the bottom end together for you guys. I'm hoping to be able to do that with the machine shop and kind of coordinate with them. So stay tuned for the next video. Looking forward to it myself. Thanks for watching Nerd Gear TV, and I will see you guys in the next one. Ba-boom.